If you want to directly participate in action against Lockheed Martin, go to blockheed.network. Alright, into the video. So a prominent disability activist and self-proclaimed leftist on Twitter named Anna Mardal was recently doxxed by the far-right Nazi forum Kiwi Farms and revealed to have worked as a part-time license manager for Lockheed Martin, the largest military contractor in the world. For context, Lockheed Martin is directly tied to selling weapons that have led to an incredible amount of destruction in the Iraq War, as well as in Palestine and in Yemen. The fact that Anna was a prominent disability activist and leftist fond of woke scolding other people while at the same time working for a company that has disabled literally hundreds of thousands was not lost on a lot of people on Twitter, and it resulted in this huge debate. There were some decent defenses of Anna, but mostly they were very, very bad, if not just people straight up saying they have no problem with someone working at Lockheed Martin at all. Regardless, I want to talk about actual arguments that were being made and examine their validity. Not for the stupid drama, but because this whole debate is indicative of issues in the left that go way beyond any single person. Anna only played a minor role and worked part-time. What about the hundreds of thousands of other employees? Or the board of directors? So this was something I saw a lot. People saying that she was just some low-level administrator, that she didn't personally shoot anybody or launch any missiles. So why attack her instead of the board of directors or something? People do have a good point when they talk about people dogpiling this person. People are right to say that the actual people in charge of Lockheed Martin are deserving of a lot more scrutiny than they actually get. I agree that far more people should be bombarding the social media for Lockheed Martin and its leaders, but Anna was frankly a far easier target. It speaks to me towards the frustration many people have in terms of the belief of their inability to enact actual change that they dogpiled on this one person so hard. But at the same time, it does not mean someone like Anna should get off scot-free. Lockheed Martin still needs administrators like Anna to make its business more streamlined and efficient and effective, so it can make as many weapons as possible as quickly as possible to make as much money as possible. If you work for the military or a military contractor, you are somewhere along the line helping prop up the military-industrial complex. You are not committing war crimes yourself, yes, but you are, however indirectly, assisting in the committing of war crimes. Anna is obviously not as complicit as, say, a coder for the missiles that are used, or a drone operator, but he is still absolutely complicit. Now, some people's responses to this line of argument were along the lines of, well, you pay taxes and taxes go to the war machine, so you participate in the military-industrial complex too. But this is just disingenuous, and I don't think I need to explain beyond the fact that that is way more degrees removed from the role Anna played. You're just dogpiling on this person because he's trans and he likes to talk about bigotry. This is just kind of disingenuous. The vast majority of people dogpiled on Anna specifically because they identified as a leftist and were fond of portraying themselves as this small bean genderqueer and admonishing other people for not being as morally superior as they were, while at the same time they worked for Lockheed Martin. And Anna is indicative of a broader issue, which is that people are sick of how countless people around the world are constantly being bombed and being exploited for their labor, so that people like Anna can sit around and have endless discussions about whether some fantasy elf is an effective example of queer representation, or how dwarves are height-phobic, whatever it is, while clearly not actually giving a shit about any real-world social justice. It was remarkable how common the people defending Anna were also people who, like Anna, portrayed themselves as these kawaii ooh sorts of accounts, given the irony of the horrible, very much not kawaii institutions they were either directly or indirectly defending. Privilege, in actuality, is people like Anna being concerned with debating whether it's ableist to criticize a writer for not reading books, instead of spending that free time she had actually looking for a job that wasn't at Lockheed Martin. The only reason we have the privilege to sit around and talk about stupid bullshit like that all day in the first place is because of how much resources and money we extract out of third world countries, largely thanks to the actions of companies like Lockheed Martin in the first place. Anyone born in America has infinitely more privilege than anyone born in the countries that America or its allies constantly bombs. Oh, but we can be both anti-Lockheed Martin and anti-bigotry in media, which is what plenty of people have said, and sure, I absolutely agree. But why have so many people come to Anna's defense in so many ways when Anna clearly seems to be only interested in the latter of the two? This country and its people has been built off of the backs of the oppression of millions and millions of non-white people, constantly performing war crimes in other countries that help contribute to those countries never being able to gain the same civil rights that we have in the first place. It is far more ableist and racist and colonialist to work at Lockheed Martin under almost any capacity than just for someone to write a character that might be a racist stereotype. It really does seem like many people are not basically educated on issues beyond very basic ideas of social justice, and in ways that do not extend in any way beyond America. Our compassion should not be national, not based on some lines on a map, but international. It should not be based on identity, but on how privileged or not privileged someone is. And Anna has a lot more privilege than the countless brown and black people killed or displaced by Lockheed Martin's weapons. Anyone in America who isn't basically homeless has more privilege, because everyone in America benefits one way or another thanks to imperialism. But only some actively choose to contribute directly to imperialism, and that includes Anna. Find another job, his life depended on it. Without context, this is arguably the most valid defense, but taking into account the specifics of Anna's case, it really doesn't hold much weight. At least one of his parents worked at Lockheed Martin, which means he in some way profited originally off of his parents working for a company that assists in the murder of innocent people. I can still excuse using nepotism to get a job at Lockheed Martin, as long as you use it as a platform to work for a company that maybe does some good for the world, or at least just to not keep working at Lockheed Martin. But no, Anna stayed at Lockheed Martin for 15 years. A lot of people, of course, including Anna, were saying that it's extremely difficult to find a part-time job that also has medical benefits. But for someone in Anna's position, it seems that she could have fairly easily found something else, at least something, in those 15 years. Because according to the U.S. Personnel Management Office's information on part-time worker benefits, all permanent part-time workers who participate in the Federal Employee Health Benefits Program get medical benefits. Even assuming Lockheed Martin has its own benefit system that is separate, I find it pretty impossible to believe that in those 15 years there wasn't a way, with Anna's experience, to transfer to some government job that wasn't at Lockheed Martin. There are millions of federal part-time employees in the US after all, and many of them do not directly involve working for the military. It's obviously an incredibly messed up irony that a place like Lockheed Martin does seem to be one of the better places to work for disabled people, given how many people that company is itself responsible for disabling. But I seriously doubt that it was a legitimate matter of life and death that Anna continued to work at this specific place. Anna appeared to have lived in a $400,000 house with his partner, and also has a Patreon with 662 members. She's actually gained 30 new patrons in just the last 2 days, so now she's making more money than she was before it was revealed she works for Lockheed Martin in the first place. It seems that more than anything, this was a matter of personal comfort, not a lack of privilege. This is exactly what Kiwi Farms wanted to happen. You're just collaborating with them at this point. So this is by far the worst and most poorly thought out argument I saw that was pretty widespread. Like, if Fox News happens to do good journalism, would you completely ignore the journalism because it came from Fox News? Like, I'm aware that Kiwi Farms has led to causing people, and specifically trans people, to commit suicide before, and that's very bad. But Lockheed Martin has a body count that is many, many millions higher. It's not collaborating with Kiwi Farms to acknowledge and confront someone for working with Lockheed Martin, even if that information came from Kiwi Farms. Besides, a very large portion of people never even saw the original Kiwi Farms leak, and instead just the subsequent fact that Anna worked for Lockheed Martin. That doesn't make the information that was revealed not true. Maybe acknowledging it led to the controversy, yeah, which is exactly what Kiwi Farms wanted in the first place, but what is the alternative? Would people rather have it that Anna's role was completely ignored? If so, that means you don't really think what they did was all that bad in the first place. In fact, the amount of controversy definitely means that Kiwi Farms is going to try even harder to dox people. Really, if anything, endorsing the doxing is the only thing that would make Kiwi Farms maybe stop, because the main reason they're doing this in the first place is to cause division. These people don't care that she worked for Lockheed Martin, they just wanted to cause controversy, and they did. A lot of people have argued that this whole thing has been ultimately really unproductive, since Lockheed Martin will continue to make weapons that kill innocent people, and nothing will really fundamentally change. But to a certain extent, I think that this has been a really good educational opportunity for a lot of people, myself included. For one, the sheer amount of people willing to argue in favor of Anna working at Lockheed has revealed an important truth that he is not some uniquely evil person, but just one of countless people who, either out of lack of education or a simple lack of ability to empathize without anyone beyond America, seem to have little to no problem going to any means, no matter how incredibly insane, to justify Anna's actions. It's exposed how much some people's personas are just about feeling morally superior by stacking up the amount of ways that they consider themselves impressed until they're completely morally inculpable and no action they might commit is inexcusable. My favorite is probably the tweet where the Afghan guy compares working for Lockheed Martin to working at the DMV. Of course, also, many people also didn't even know what Lockheed Martin was before this controversy, and might be encouraged to actually participate in specific campaigns against companies like Lockheed Martin now that they do. I think this controversy might have also been a positive in that many people didn't even know what Lockheed Martin was before now. I think this could almost certainly discourage new people from joining the defense industry, and might help encourage people already working in the defense industry who might not feel very good about it to actually leave and finally find a different job. Even if it's just out of fear of personal backlash, the more the military-industrial complex continues to struggle to find new hirees, whether they're actual soldiers or just paper pushers, the better, in my opinion. Well, that's about it. I hope this video has helped educate people. I don't know everything myself, obviously. I've actually only really begun to really deeply look at the world in an international rather than national lens in the past few months or so, and I obviously myself am very privileged, so apologies if I missed anything. I know I've probably made at least a few enemies with this video, not to mention on Twitter, and so any support through subscribing or liking or leaving a positive comment would really be appreciated. I've got a lot more videos on the way, so hopefully I'll see you soon.